Well, that was silly. In fact, do you ever get silly? Do you ever get silly? Don't be honest with me. I know you get silly. I guarantee you, you've made this face before. You've made that face before. You have been silly. You know why I know that you've been silly? Because everybody knows what silly is. Welcome, Wonder Friends, back to Wonderville Studios. Today, we are going to talk about silly. Silly comes in, I don't know how many different ways. Have you ever done anything that made you feel like embarrassed or really laugh, or I don't know, maybe a little mad or a little sad or a little whatever? Sometimes a lot of things can make us feel silly, but one good way to make sure that you don't let silly embarrass you and make you feel bad is that you just kind of laugh it off, right? Because sometimes it's really fun to be silly. It's not always that we have to take everything in life so serious. A lot of times if we just kind of have a little fun in a situation that seems like it might not be fun and add a little bit of silly to it, it not only helps our imagination, it helps us grow, it helps us become better storytellers in this thing called life. These things that we experience each day, if we take something that we wish that we could see in the world, the silly that we want to see in the world, apply our own unique parts to it, because after all, each one of us are very special in our own way. There's only going to be one you forever. And that, to me, is pretty amazing. And I think that you are great just the way you are, even though you are crazy silly, because trust me, ask anybody that knows me, I am beyond silly. I am the craziest, silliest person that I know. And you know what? I'm really happy that I'm that way. And I think you should be happy that you are silly as well, because I wouldn't change anything about you, and you shouldn't want anything to change about you either, because I think that you're pretty darn special. You are going to spend some time with me now drawing something really silly. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, let's make some silly drawings. Why not? You got some markers and some paper? Let's have some fun. Woo! Okay, guys, who's ready to get silly? I know I am. Are you ready to get silly? All right, let's do some silly face. The good thing is that I am really good at drawing silly. I have no problem drawing silly, and I think that after this, you won't have a problem drawing silly either. So what we're going to do is we are going to start our silly character out by doing just a little, like, lump. Think of it as like a U shape that is over there. And then you're going to just draw like this hot dog shape around and just connect it. It's almost like a fish hook, too, is what it kind of looks like. And then you're just going to draw a line straight down like that, connect it all with a big J, because as you know, whenever you do silly faces, most of the time your face is wide open and you got this big old tongue hanging out, the same as our guy does right here. And then we're going to just draw a straight line down, and we are going to connect that just like that. Now this is where the important decision comes in. Do we want to make sure that our silly guy has silly teeth? Yes, we do. And then we're going to put in just some silly teeth, like some random teeth. If somebody's got silly teeth, they wouldn't have, especially a cartoon character, they wouldn't have teeth like in a perfect row. They'd have to be silly, obviously. And he should definitely have a spotted tongue, because why wouldn't he? Because he's a silly character and he's going to be just made up. It would be much more fun if he had a silly tongue. And then if we want to draw the inside of the mouth, see how all of a sudden when I draw that line in there, now all of a sudden that this character, now you can see the inside of his mouth, and it gives this character, it makes him look a little less like he's just a flat character on a page, and gives him a little bit more of a dimension to him. What I mean by dimension is that you can now see a front and a back, right? It makes him look a little bit more like he could be popping off the page, is what I'm saying. So as we do this, color this in. That takes a long time, but I just wanted to really kind of show you guys. And see how I messed up here? That's cool. Like, you can leave the mess ups. If you mess up and you really don't like it that much, check out what happens. You just take this black marker. Now all of a sudden, he doesn't have a tooth there. So now that's how this works. And it's okay to have mess ups. In fact, sometimes the best things about drawings are the mess ups. Sometimes you get some things happen that you didn't even expect to happen because you messed up. And I think, so now we got this dude with this big old body. I think what would make him kind of funny is if we give him just like a really short stubby, like whole body. So he kind of looks like he's just all head and just like this teeny tiny little body, right? And let's give him a peg leg. Because, again, why not? We're making a silly monster. We have the right to make this monster as silly as we want to. And then we're going to draw another leg just like that. You can draw any kind of leg over here. You can give him like a big old foot, a little foot. You can put him in high heels. You can put him in boots. You can put him in rain boots. You can put him in cowboy boots. You can do whatever you want here. And we're going to draw 2 lines up like this. 2 lines like this. And let's draw a straight line here. And let's just continue our little pirate type theme for this guy. And then we're just going to draw a hook hand on him. Just like that. And then this hand, we're just going to draw a normal. And just give him some hot dog fingers. Just make him some hot dog fingers. Okay, so, you know, as any part of a silly situation is we're going to make sure that his eyes are super silly. And we're going to just draw 1 circle here. And their circle here. And see how they're off a little, like one is up higher than the other? That really kind of helps when we're drawing a silly character to really get that idea across. And we can just draw, if we throw the eyes off a little bit. And then, again, eyebrows are a great way to show an expression, right? And like I've told you guys before, if you ever wonder what good expressions are, if you find a mirror, get in front of the mirror and make silly faces in the mirror. Watch what your eyebrows do. Look at how your eyes move. Look at what you do with your tongue. And when you sit down to draw your characters, then you bring that part of watching that into your drawing. And we can give this guy some little bit of a spike down his back. And what if this guy had a big, like, clown nose? You can give him a clown nose and put like little, like like things on the outside of it. All right, and some spots here. And then let's, you know what? Let's maybe make this guy like a dog. We can do that really easy by just putting on some ears on it here and some more ears right here. Okay, and then if we give it 2 lines like this and a circle, now all of a sudden he's like, we're going to call him he's the dog. So he's like a dog now. And you can give him some whiskers if you want. He's like a dog, dinosaur, pirate, silly, spotted tongue, you know, crazy guy that he likes to eat hot dogs and drink soup instead of like Gatorades or juice. He eats hot dogs, drinks soup, and he toots rainbow Skittles. That's what makes this guy super silly, right? So we're going to put some spots in here. Have a lot of fun with that. Have a lot of fun with this. This one should be a lot of fun. Being silly, guys, is definitely a cool way to go about the day. Have a lot of fun. But there is one thing important that you should know. There are times where you should not be silly. If you're in class, don't be silly. You know, if your mom and dad are trying to talk to you, don't be silly. There are times and places for our emotions to learn how to stop putting them all out there so much and know when we should be using our emotions. Silly is one of those things that can definitely make everybody's day much better and you can have a lot of fun with it. But there are times where silly is not something that we should be doing. You know, a lot of times if we do something silly, it's a great way to make somebody else feel better. It's also a great way to make us feel better if we're feeling down. But there are times like when you're in class or maybe somebody's talking to you, or you know, just situations. I think we all know when it's right to be silly and when it's not right to be silly. But when it's right to be silly, I totally endorse being silly all the time. It makes for a much more fun time. It makes for a lot of laughs. It might make your belly hurt because you laugh so much and make your face hurt because you make so many faces. But don't worry, even though they tell you it won't get stuck that way. So anyway, guys, make sure that you sign this famous drawing because one day you're going to grow up and do amazing things. Because why? Because you are unique, you are special, and you want to be the weird that you want to see in that world. You're going to do things that you wish that everybody else could see just because you're brave enough to go after those things you want. You understand what it's like to feel and bring happiness and kindness to other people's worlds. And that's it, guys. Have a lot of fun today. I will see you around. Hey, Wonder Friends. Thanks for drawing with us. Hope you liked this video. And if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We upload new videos all the time. Now, with the help of your parents, we'd love to see your drawings. So make sure you have them uploaded to Facebook or Twitter. They can find us at Wonderville Studios. We would love to see what your drawings and your creativity and your uniqueness come to life. And until we see you, Be nice and inspire others. See ya!